especially?
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. We've mapped out our strategies in order for sustainability, in order to ensure that all these industries we have, I mean, they were able to sustain what we have on ground. And the only way to do that is to ensure that we put the right things in place. We put the strategy in place. And I'll give you a good example. To date, about 304 industries have opened shops in the state in the last 7 years. And only 304 industries. And most of them, about 140 of them, they have actually invested in excess of $200 million and above. And the ones, I mean, below that is about 160 industries. So what we've done is to ensure that as a government, we have one-stop shop. A one-stop shop, for example, they are the ones handling the issues, just like having your relationship manager in the bank. How would you, I mean, you know somebody to talk to. I mean, I'll give you a good example. If you want to get the issue of, you spoke about the tax holiday, these are the things that one-stop shop will ensure that we get sorted out for you. Secondly, the issue of EA, then getting discount on lamps. Are you getting my point? And another thing that we do with one-stop shop, though, is to ensure that all the MDAs make sure that all the issues you need as investors are resolved. Like your relationship manager in the bank, ensure that all your issues are resolved. So these are the strategies we put in place, whereby even after we've long gone, in the next 4 years, people will still be looking at that, and the people we left will be able to solve that and sustain that. So the issue of sustainability is key, because if you don't sustain all those things, you're going to have problems. So these are the things we put in place, and it's really working. And that's the reason why we are moving. We moved from number 35 to one of the best 4, and our strategy is to be number 1 in the country. So those are the things we are working on. And then the roadmap we have is actually working for us. And all we need to do is to sustain it as a government.
You've talked about strategies that are in place. I just wondering if you could outline in clear terms what these strategies are, maybe highlight them. But then if you put in all these strategies and the public is not very aware of them, one will wonder how would they work along with government. So what's the level of public awareness?
Oh, well, if you look at, I mean, let me give you a good example. All the things we are doing as a government, we ensure that they are in our website, if you go on our website, and not only that, we advertise all these things. At the same time, we ensure that all the people, the investors, I mean, we get calls all over the world that, oh, we want to invest in this, we want to invest in that. It's because we've been able to put a roadmap there. People have been able to see what we are doing, and we've been able to ask, I mean, on our website, on the, Twitter, we have so many areas whereby we are ensuring that we pass this information to the public, okay. And then they are aware of that.
What about if the information is out there to the public? Because one would assume that if you have 304 industries opening up here in the last 7 years, one would think that that will be a lot of jobs for residents of Ogun State. So if the public is aware that 304 industries have opened shop here, how is it then that we'll be getting messages of people saying, please tell the commissioner, I need a job?
Let me tell you.
Is it that they are not aware?
No. There's something you need to know. You see, we have 304 industries. Do you know how many of our children that have gone to universities? Do you know how many students? You see, the point is this, things have really changed. The population is growing. The number of children we have in universities are growing. And let me tell you, when people like us, when we graduated, the strategies are, oh, if you have 2-1, 2-2. But now, they've moved the barrier up. If you don't have 2-1 or first class, because you have 100,000 of graduates on the road. I remember, this is a state whereby the vice president has actually come in to commission industries more. During the last regime, this is the state whereby the president came in to commission industries. I remember the statement by one of the president, the former president. He said, I congratulate the governor and the group of the state for creating a new environment for business to thrive. And there will be a time that there will be no citizen of Ogun State without a job. But the problem is that we have the largest tertiary institution in this country. So what I'm saying is that we have so many graduates coming out. And what we keep on telling our children is that, look, ensure that as a graduate, you must be able to do very well so that you can achieve success and you'll be able to be competitive.
Does that mean that there isn't any deliberate strategy to prepare them as human resources to fit into all these industries?
Oh yes, what we've done is that we ensure that most of these industries, they give our people priority. For example, we have...
But they have to be qualified first.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But they must give them priority. Once the qualified ones must be given priority. Because let me give you a good example. When we give them forms to fill, the companies, we want to ask them what are their immediate, medium, and long-term plans. Because we need to look at that. And what are the plans you have for... Because even foreign companies too, you must have plans for our indigenous. for them to be able to sustain that and to be able to succeed whoever is there. So, but the strategy is that, like you rightly said, our children must be qualified, because if they are not qualified, they won't be able to compete with the other people. So the competition is very stiff, and you see, we keep on building universities, and these graduates, when they come out of universities, where will they go to? So that's the problem. You see, the number of industries we have, even in the whole of this country, cannot accommodate the number of graduates. So, and that's the reason why we are encouraging people to be managers of their own businesses, to start up their own businesses, and that's why we encourage the issue of
But the curriculum hasn't changed in the schools. It's still the same old curriculum.
Well, it hasn't changed, but when you go to school and you're not a very serious student, you are joining you are becoming members of the cult, secret society. You are going to have problems if you're not focusing on your studies. But some of these students too, they are focused, they know what they are doing, and at the same time, the issue of MSMEs. If you see some of these graduates that have actually set up their own farm lands, and they are doing very well, and because we made available BOI funds, the MSME to drive that and be able to create a job for them on their own, and they can be managers of their own businesses. So it helps to do that.
All right, so there you go. That's some insight into the strategy for this Investors Forum. Bimbo Ashiru is a Commissioner for Commerce and Industry. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, we'll be back in a moment. Don't go away.